Ostriches are the largest living birds. They cannot fly but are outstanding runners, able to reach speeds of about 40 miles an hour. Ostriches are usually polygamous. A male mates with 2 to 4 females in a season, as well as a main female, or hen. During the mating season, the black and white coloured male defends its territory against competitors. He chooses mates from the greyish-brown females from neighbouring areas. During the courtship ritual, the male's skin blushes pinkish red. He flaps his wing feathers, makes a booming noise, and strikes his head against his back. A receptive female lowers her head and body and holds her wings away and pointing down, allowing the male to mount from behind. Five to 10 days after mating, the females lay their eggs in a communal nest. If ostrich family groups meet, they behave in a way that is unique among birds. A parent from one group charges at the second family group and examines their offspring. The gregarious chicks and juveniles are reared in compact groups. Likewise, a parent from the second group runs at and examines the brood of the first pair. Confident, aggressive birds stand with their heads and tails high and the body tilted upwards. Submissive birds hold their heads and tails low. The adult birds clash, and it may become so heated that in the commotion they will run over the chicks.
This Montgomery County mother accused of abandoning her 2 children was all smiles when she was arrested 3 states away.
Yeah, kind of a bizarre photo there. Well, officers found Raven Yates in Alabama more than 2 months after she vanished.
ABC 13's Brianna Connor is getting new facts on her arrest. And Brianna, what's next for this woman?
Raven Yates still needs to be processed in Mobile, Alabama, before she's brought back here to Montgomery County to face the charges against her. Detectives working this case had been looking for Yates for about 3 months. I'm told law enforcement in Mobile had to break down the bedroom door of an older man's apartment to find her.
The popularity of it got a lot of people interested in it.
Raven Yates gained thousands of followers and has been trending on social media ever since she made headlines for accusations of abandonment. Roman Forest police say she left her 12-year-old daughter and 3-year-old son all alone for 2 months. Investigators say they had to fend for themselves with little food or medicine at this house on Maplewood Ridge Drive while Yates lived in Alabama.
I've never seen anything like that, and I've never seen anybody play into the camera and play into the social media as she has.
The entire time, Yates was posting provocative images like these online while fully aware there was a warrant out for her arrest. Roman Forest Police Chief Stephen Carlisle says tips poured in from the public, and that's what eventually led to her arrest in Mobile. This photo capturing Yates in cuffs and seemingly unbothered by the allegations that she put her own children in danger.
I think was playing for the camera. She wanted to have a smile. She wanted to look good.
Yates' 12-year-old is with her father, who lives out of state. Police say the child was afraid to tell her dad what was happening at first because she was worried she'd be separated from her brother, who has a different dad. At last check, Yates' other children were safe with relatives while she prepares to head back home now.
We're waiting for her to be extradited back to Montgomery County, and then, of course, we'll be able to interview her and find out her side of the story, and we'll go from there.
If convicted, she could spend 20 years behind bars and away from social media attention.
Just like a bad nightmare, like somebody just Let me take a breath. Let me breathe, you know? Like,
Grandmother in mourning.
he was fine. He was okay. She took him. She took him. She could have left him here. He had been with us since May.
At 9 a.m. this morning, the sheriff's office received a call about a baby in the ditch on I-10 eastbound. And we looked at this 1-year-old as our miracle baby because he was still alive. Unbelievable. This kid spent 2 days out in the weather on the side of the highway. Thank God that trucker seen him. When you look at the video, here he was, crawling toward the highway.
After a tragic turn of events, an infant was found crawling by Interstate 10 around mile marker 10 while the outer bands of Hurricane Beryl were touching down in Texas. The truck driver who noticed the young child could not believe what his eyes were seeing, and he called 911 immediately while putting his brakes on to bring his truck to a stop. Once he was able to get out, the man would run back towards the child, who then stood up, and with relief, he took the truck driver's hand. Going forward, after authorities were involved, they soon realized that this missing child was connected to another missing child, who sadly had a different fate. In Lake Charles, Louisiana, a family gathered together on Saturday, July 6, 2024, to lay one of their loved ones to rest. The service took place at Fondale Memorial Chapel for 60-year-old Geneva Ann Jack, who was a beloved mother and grandmother who passed away too soon. On the day of her homegoing, in the midst of everyone mourning, one of Geneva's granddaughters, 25-year-old Aaliyah Jack, decided to make a rash decision that turned into a dreadful tragedy days later. Now, to understand what took place, we have to go back to April 2024. This is when Aaliyah fell on hard times. According to her mother, Consuela, Aaliyah fled to Baton Rouge with her 2 young boys. The troubling situation behind Aaliyah running was not clear, but what was clear is that she needed help with her 2 young sons, and her loved ones would step in. According to Consuela, she asked her daughter why she ran to Baton Rouge in the first place with 4-year-old Legend and 1-year-old King Trail, and all Aaliyah said was she had nowhere else to go. This is when Legend's grandmother went to get her and the kids from Baton Rouge, and after that, Consuela met up with them. Legend went with his other grandmother, who picked the 3 up, and Consuela took King Trail with her, and Aaliyah went her separate way to get her life together. A few months passed, and the kids were still not in Aaliyah's care, but on July 6, she decided to take her kids from her mother. On that Saturday, Aaliyah met her mother, who was in Lafayette for Consuela's mother's repast, to spend time with her children. And then out of nowhere, that is when Aaliyah fled with the boys. By the next day, which was Sunday, Consuela had been trying desperately to reach Aaliyah, and she finally heard from her, but it was through text only. Aaliyah had sent her mother a picture of a car in some bushes that appeared like it had been in a wreck. This text left Consuela confused, and so she repeated to call Aaliyah over and over, but got no answer. But why? Why did Aaliyah take her kids without talking to her mother, who had them for months, and then not answer the phone? Sadly, on Monday, July 8th, around midday, Legend's body was tragically found in a lake behind the Benton Welcome Center located off I-10 right off the Louisiana-Texas border. Aaliyah and her 1-year-old King Trail were nowhere around, and authorities at the time did not even know who Legend was or who he belonged to. Later on that Monday, the Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office released information about the body found on their Facebook page, and it read, "Earlier today at approximately 3 p.m., Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office deputies were dispatched to the Benton Welcome Center in reference to a witness observing a body in the water. When deputies arrived, they observed a body floating in the water behind the Welcome Center. The CPSO Marine Division responded and was able to recover the body. The initial investigation revealed the body to be that of an African American child. There was no obvious signs of injuries, but the investigation is continuing. The coroner will determine why the child passed. It is with a heavy heart that we have to share this news of the young boy found earlier today. At this time, we continue to have detectives on scene and are working to identify him. We have checked with local agencies in our area as well as Texas, and there appears to be no case of a missing child reported that matches the description. Once the public heard about the story, word spread and one of Aaliyah's family members thought to call to get info about the young boy and was able to identify that it was, in fact, Little Legend.
I told the man, I say, this may not mean nothing. Like, by this time, it's in the evening time. I say, this might not mean nothing. I say, but my grandson mama ran off with him Saturday. We've been looking for them. I say, he's 4. I say, but you may think he's 6 because he's a big 4.
Authorities were able to gather more info from the family and quickly started looking for Aaliyah and 1-year-old King Trail. The search did not take long and ended over 400 miles away in Meridian, Mississippi, with the capture of 25-year-old Aaliyah Jack. At the time of her arrest, she was charged with failure to report a missing child, and little King Trail was nowhere to be found. Apparently, Aaliyah did not give info about where 1-year-old King Trail was located because the next day, that Tuesday morning, a trucker reported seeing a baby in a ditch on I-10 eastbound near the 10-mile marker. However, this was good news because King Trail was safe, and besides some bug bites, he appeared to be unharmed. Law enforcement are calling him a miracle baby because he had been out there for 2 days in the elements during Hurricane Beryl.
We're also sharing a sad story out of Louisiana tonight. A 1-year-old child is recovering in the hospital after he was found in a ditch near the Texas-Louisiana border today. The 1-year-old was found just a day after the body of his 4-year-old brother was discovered in the waters near the Vinton Welcome Center. Both children were last seen with their mother, 25-year-old Aaliyah Jack, over the weekend, according to the Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office. After the 4-year-old's body was found, a judge issued an arrest warrant for the mother, and authorities found Jack in Mississippi.
When Consuela got the news, she said through tears, "I was so blessed to hear the baby survive, but also so hurt because one is now gone." She also stated, "I just buried my mother and now my grandson, and he's only 4 years old. Legend was so sweet and just lovable." Since the 1-year-old was found, he was said to be in stable condition and placed into state custody. This is so dreadfully heartbreaking. Why did she take her kid from a safe place and allow this to happen? What was her motive? There are just so many questions, and I pray she cooperates with law enforcement since she's behind bars. After everything came together, Aaliyah's charges were upgraded, and she has a bond that's set at $9.1 million with no previous criminal record. Even though it is not clear what exactly happened, what is clear is those 2 boys did not need to be with their mother. Consuela now has to fight for her grandson. She stated, "It is stressful because they're going to put me through all what I'm about to go through just to get him back. I don't even have the funds for it, so I have to do everything I can to get the baby back." Just more heartbreak on top of heartbreak.